Good morning, algebra students. This is for my 4th and 5th period algebra classes. Today, we're going to be learning about inequalities. So I need you all to make sure you have out a piece of paper, something to write with, and if you have a small piece of paper that Mrs. Tate gave you that has a bunch of number lines on it, blank number lines, that will be helpful for today. But if you all didn't get that, that's okay. It's no big deal. We can just draw our own number lines. Today, we're going to be doing section 3.1 in your book, inequalities and their graphs. So I need you to have out a piece of paper and label it section 3.1, inequalities and their graphs. We're going to be graphing something called inequalities. Now, before we start, I have some numbers up here on my board. I have the number 3, 8, 5, 14, 18, 2, 0, and 10. You don't have to write those numbers down, just listen. And I'm going to ask a few questions. I want you to think about the answer, and then I'll tell you what the answers are. So, out of these numbers that I have up here on my board, I want all of the numbers that are greater than or equal to 5. So I want you to think, out of all of these numbers, which ones are greater than or equal to 5? Think about that for a second. Greater than or equal to 5. Let's see. Is 3 greater than or equal to 5? No. 8? Yes. How about the number 5? Is 5 greater than or equal to 5? Yes. So we can have the number 5. 14? Yes. 18? Yes. It's greater than 5. 2? No. 2 is not greater than 5. 0? No. 10? Yes. So the numbers that are greater than or equal to 5 are 8, 5, 14, 18, and 10. Let's do another example. I want all the numbers that are less than 2. All the numbers that are less than 2. That would mean all the numbers smaller than 2. Let's go through these and see. Is 3 less than 2? No. 8? No. 5? No. 14? No. You all passed kindergarten. You know what's less than 2. 18? Not less than 2. 2. Is the number 2 less than 2? No. The number 2 is equal to 2. It's not less than itself. So we can't count that. 0. Yes, we got one. 0 is less than 2. 10? No. We don't want to include 10. It's not less than 2. So the only number up here that is less than 2 is 0. You know what would have made this activity a little bit easier? Would be if I had had these numbers in order from smallest to biggest. Don't you think so? I mean, this wasn't hard, but it would have been even easier if these numbers were in order from smallest to largest. And guess what? That is what a number line is for. I'm going to take these away, and we're going to draw a number line in our notes. And if you have that small sheet of paper I gave you, you can use one of the lines on there. If not, that's okay. You could just draw a line like I'm going to draw a line. Here's a number line. Let's put 0 right in the middle. And let's put some numbers on it. Let's go up to 5 in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down here, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And let's talk about that very last example I did with the big pink numbers. I said all the numbers that are less than 2. Instead of those pink cards, let's use the numbers on this number line. Let's say I want you to find all of the numbers that are less than 2. Here's another way to write that. All of the numbers can be written as a variable. X represents all the numbers And then we can put the less than sign. That means less than. And we can put the number 2. This is called an inequality. Do you remember when we studied equations? Anything that had an equal sign was called an equation. Well, anything that has an inequality sign, which means less than or greater than, those are inequalities. That means that numbers are not equal to each other. So this little inequality right here says, I want all of the numbers that are less than 2. And instead of using those pink cards that I used before, we're going to use numbers on a number line to show all of the numbers, every single possible number in the universe that is less than 2. Let me grab another color. Here's a different color right here. I'm going to use this different color marker to draw a line that represents all the numbers less than 2. So I'm going to start at 2, and I'm going to go less than 2. 1 is less than 2, 0 is less than 2. All these negative numbers are less than 2. And let me make that a little thicker so it shows up on camera. I'm drawing a nice thick line. You can either use a marker or a colored pencil or a crayon, or you could just use a really thick pencil. Just draw a thick line from 2 all the way to the end of the number line, and draw a big, colorful arrow at the end to show which way is less than 2. These are all of the numbers that are less than 2. And it goes off the paper and down through my basement and out the door for infinity. There's one more thing we have to do on this line. Remember when we had the big pink numbers up here and I said, is 2 less than 2? Could we choose the card that had 2 on it? And we agreed that no, 2 is not less than 2. So we need to show on this line that the line starts at 2, like 1.5 and 1 3/4. Those are on this line of all the numbers less than 2. But 2 is not on the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw an open circle around the number 2. An open circle means that this line starts at 2, but it does not include 2. So we drew an open circle. I'm going to write that down. The open circle, and it's right on where the light is hitting my dry erase board, so let me write it again. Open circle. An open circle means the line starts there, but it doesn't include that number. It includes the number 1.999999999. That's less than 2. That's on the line, but 2 is not. We've got an open circle there. All right, we're going to do another inequality. Let's do the inequality. X is greater than or equal to 5. Now this sign right here, when you have a greater than sign and it has a line underneath it, that means X is greater than or equal to 5. And I think that was the first example we did with those pink cards at the beginning of class. I asked you to find all of the cards that were bigger than or equal to 5. And we found all the ones bigger than 5, and we said 5 is included too. We'll get to that in a second. Let me draw another number line. This time I'm going to put 0 a little further down because I kind of want 5 to be in the middle. 5 should be somewhere close to the middle. Show a couple of numbers that are to the right of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a couple numbers that are to the left of 5. Let's see, I might need to move 0. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There we go. So I have the number that I'm working with right in the middle. Now, I need all the numbers greater than 5. All the numbers that are greater than 5. All the numbers bigger than 5. So let's see, is 4 bigger than 5? No, this is what we did at the very beginning where we said this is easy. It's what we did in kindergarten. Is 3 bigger than 5? No, 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 no. So I don't want to draw my line going to the right like I did up here. I want to draw my line going to the left. 6 is bigger than 5. 7 is bigger than 5. 8 is bigger than 5. All of these numbers are bigger than 5, so my line needs to go to the right. Draw a big old arrow at the end to show that your line keeps going in that direction. And now this one is a little different than the last example. This says x is greater than or equal to 5. So we want 5 to be on that line. X could be equal to 5. So instead of drawing an open circle, I'm going to draw a closed circle. So for this problem, I'm going to draw a closed circle. Put a closed circle on 5, and then put a nice thick line that shows all the numbers that are bigger than 5. Now I'm going to add to my list of inequalities over here. I'm going to add less than or equal to. Oh, I drew it terribly. Let me try that again. Less than or equal to. And I'm going to draw a greater than or equal to. So these are the 4 signs that you're going to be using in class today. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And I want to show you a little shortcut for a few things. First of all, I'm going to show you a shortcut for how you can figure out which direction to draw your big, thick line. In this example, we drew the line to the left to show all the numbers that are less than 2. And if you turn the less than sign, this marker is out, hold on. If you turn this less than sign into an arrow, it points to the left. So if you follow the arrow of the less than sign, it's pointing to the left. It's telling you to draw the line to the left. Same with the greater than sign. If you turn it into an arrow, it's pointing to the right. It's telling you to draw your line to the right. There's one other shortcut that I wanted to show you. And let's see, I need 2 markers to do that. Here is what a less than sign looks like. Some people seem to forget which sign is less than and which sign is greater than. Here's how I remember which one is which. If this is the sign right here. This is the less than sign. Here's the point. Here's the tall part of the sign. If you stand it up, stand the less than sign up straight, it makes the letter L. So if you take this less than sign and stand it up straight, it makes the letter L, L for less than. So that's how you can remember that that sign is the one that means less than. Let's do one last problem together, and then I'm going to give you some problems in your workbook to do. I want you all to tell me what inequality this graph represents. I'm going to draw a graph, and I want you to think about what inequality it represents. Let's make that -3, -2, -1, 0, -4, -5, -6. And I'm going to put an open circle at -3, and I'm going to draw a line that goes to the right. And I want you to tell me what inequality this represents. Think about it for a minute. Think about it. It's got to have a variable. It has to have an inequality sign, and it has to have the number. Do you have it? Let's see if you got it right. The line starts at the number -3. So this is going to be x and -3. I need to figure out what sign to put between them. This line is going to the right. It's going that way. So there's the arrow. Take that little line away. That's the greater than sign. It's pointing to the right. So I need the greater than sign in between those because the greater than sign points to the right. Let's see. And we need to see if we need greater than or equal to or just plain greater than. So this circle is an open circle. Which one had an open circle? It was the one that did not have the equal to sign underneath it. So this is all the numbers that are greater than -3. And let me make sure I got it right. Is -2 greater than -3? Yes. -1 greater than -3? Yes, it is. 0? Yes. 1? Yes. 20? Yes. Those numbers are all bigger than -3. So I think I got it right. I want you all to try some problems in your workbook now. Now let's see what page we're on in our workbooks. By the way, 4th period class, you have workbooks now. They are up on the teacher table in the gym cafe. There should be enough for all of you to have one. So I will need Mrs. Tate to pass those out to everybody. Those are for you to keep. They're for you to write in, put your name on the front cover, put your name on the front cover, and put your name on the inside cover right here. This is for you to write in. This is for you to keep at school. I will not give you homework in this workbook. Your homework will be in your textbook, which you keep at home. Your workbook will be for class time, which you will keep at school. So you could pause the video, Mrs. Tate, while you pass those out. And then let me see, we are on page 79. We're on page 79 in our workbook. Page 79. We're going to do numbers 9 through 14. We're going to start with that. We're going to do numbers 9 through 14. It says to graph each inequality. So for each one, you need to draw a number line, and you can use the little paper that Mrs. Tate should have given you today. But if you don't have that, that's okay. Just draw a number line like I did. You need to decide if it should have an open circle or a closed circle, and which way the line is going to go. So page 79 in your workbook, numbers 9 to 14, we're working on that right now. I'm going to pause the video, and when I come back, I will go over a couple problems from page 79. So you all pause the video, and when most people are done, then unpause the video, and I will go over a couple of problems. I'll see you in a minute. And I'm back. We're going to go over numbers 9 through 14 in the workbook now. I'm just going to read some answers and we'll see if you all got them right. For number 9, it says y is less than -2. So you should have a number line with an open circle around -2 because it doesn't say less than or equal to, it says less than 2. So open circle, and then your line should go to the left. You want all the numbers that are less than -2. So that line would go to the left. For number 10, you want all of the numbers greater than or equal to 4. So you want a number line that has 4 on it. You're going to have a closed circle at 4. And you need all the numbers that are bigger than 4. So you're going to go to the right. You're going to draw your line to the right. Number 11, all the numbers greater than -3. You want an open circle on -3 because it does not say equal to. It says just greater than. So open circle on -3 and draw your line to the right. The greater than sign points to the right. Number 12, you want all the numbers less than or equal to 15. So you're going to have a closed circle at 15. Let me go ahead and do number 12 so we do one example at least together. It says V is less than or equal to 15. So you need 15 on your number line. Put a couple of numbers around it. You want a closed circle at 15 because it has the line under it that says it can be equal to 15. And then this less than sign points to the left. So you need to draw a thick line to the left with an arrow. Now number 13 is a little bit difficult. Not difficult, just a little strange. It says -3 is greater than or equal to f. In all the other examples we did, the variable was on the left side of the inequality. For this one, the variable's on the right side of the inequality. So we want all of the numbers that -3, let me see, -3 is greater than or equal to f. -3 is greater than f. So we actually need all the numbers that are smaller than -3. So if you have a variable on the right side, what you can do to make this a normal problem is flip it. Put f on the left and -3 on the right and flip the sign over. You want to flip the sign over. So if you want to write this as a normal problem like we did before, where the variable's on the left, switch the two things, but you also have to switch the inequality. Now we can graph this. And we put -3 on there, put a couple of numbers around it. We need a closed circle at -3 because there's a line under the sign. And then we can follow this arrow, not that one, the original one. We want to follow this new arrow to the left. So that is the inequality. So once again, if the variable is on the right side of the inequality, you can flip it over, but you also have to flip over the sign. This represents all the numbers that -3 is greater than or equal to. The last one is the same as this one, and it involves a fraction. So let's do number 14 together. -5/3 is less than c. First, I'm going to make this a mixed number because I think I might understand that a little bit better. -5/3 would be -1. 3 goes into 5 one time with a remainder of 2. 1 2/3. All right, so let's draw our number line. We need -1 2/3 on there. Here's 0. Here's -1. Here's -2. -1 2/3 is going to be somewhere in between -1 and -2, a little bit closer to -2. So this right about there is -1 2/3. Between -1 and -2, a little closer to -2. Now, this was one of those weird ones where the variable is on the right. So I'm going to need to flip this over. I need to put c, the variable, on the left, this number on the right. And what do I do to the sign? Flip it over. Less than becomes greater than. Now this is a normal problem. We need all the numbers bigger than -1 2/3. We put an open circle around -1 2/3, and then all the numbers greater than that are this direction. All right, guys, that's the majority of our lesson for today. If we have extra time, I want you to turn to page 80 in your workbook and do some of those problems over there. You can do numbers 15 through 18, and you can do 22 through 27. You can do most of the problems on page 80. And if your teacher will let you, if Mrs. Tate will allow you to, for 5th period, you all can work together if you would like on some of these problems. And also go on to page 81 if you have time. 4th period, you do not get to work together. You have to work by yourselves. You can do problems on page 80 and 81. and I will be on the IL tablet to answer questions that you have. There is no homework tonight, but we will work a little bit more in the workbook in class today. All right, I will have another video for you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.